The great serpent has filled you with purpose. Is that not beautiful? Do you hear it? The great serpent speaks to you.
My sister is stubborn, bordering on obstinate. Sadly, we have no choice but to yield to her request. Of course. We agree on most things, actually. Save the one. And before you label me a heretic, it's not the power of the divine or the breadth of his influence that I question. It's simply the manner in which he wields it that is a point of contention. I think it's foolishness, but not nearly as foolish as trying to convince her of this fact.
I have seen visions of Anasco, searching for one bold enough to enter the heart of the vortex. And now that you are here, I know your arrival was no accident, but rather providence. The great serpent has guided you here. From the moment you found the oracle to the words I speak to you now. Well put. The great serpent's works are imperceptible, even to heralds like myself. But rest assured, all will be revealed when you journey north. At the edge of the crater, you will find a cave carved by the anomaly. There, you will make contact with a Nazgul Varun.
I'm not quite sure this is where we should be focusing our energy, given everything else that's going on. But I'm hardly the expert.
The great serpent has blessed me with the sight, and I have seen events there that are only now beginning to take shape. It is as the great serpent foretold. In my visions, I witnessed two futures. In the first, you breached the scaled citadel, but found Anasco had sunk too far into the void. And in time, all of Dazra was consumed along with him. The anomaly spread, absorbing all in its path. The crater you see now is nothing compared to the destruction looming ahead. It was not his will, but a warning. In the second future, I saw you make contact with an Asco, entering a cave through a formless wall. At its terminus was a gate, a path into the realm where our speaker resides. You stepped into this void, and in that moment, something changed. The false future, rewritten.
Roughly speaking, it could be that entering the vortex directly would allow you to speak with him. And while my readings do not show any anomalous activity, I admit there's a lot of interference. Still, that only emphasizes the potential danger involved here. I cannot approve of such an excursion on the minute chance an Asco is present. Not in the way you and I speak, but in crude terms, yes. Provided you manage to maintain your own sanity through the process. But this is all purely theoretical. No one has ever entered the vortex and come back. The closer one ventures to the heart of the anomaly, the closer they are to the phantoms and horrors that lie within. Moreover, if this cave was cut open by the calamity itself, then it is an unnatural formation and highly unstable. I am no heretic, but to risk so much on a vision, it is a leap of faith I cannot condone. I will not stand in your way, however, as Inaza has stood in ours.
You may not realize it now, dear brother, but our goals are one and the same. No, it was born from the incident itself, but I believe it is there. And what is faith but to give form to the formless? As a herald, it is my duty to make real what is unseen. It was a winding cave, scattered with walls of dark energy. At the end, a rip in the fabric of reality. In my vision, I saw you step forward, slowly, following the sound of Anasco's voice. I could hear him calling to you in the distance. His words were jumbled, but as you drew closer, they started to assemble. I was thrust out of the vision before I could see the end. Then you must embark to the northern edge of the crater. You will find an entrance there, one that has no form. Step through it, find Anasco, and complete the vision. Only then will his voice be heard.
Next time, use your jetpack.
I speak into this void, and it answers with silence. Have you abandoned me, Great Serpent? Do you not hear my pleas? You understand me? Hear my voice? But I do not know you, even if you are promised. I hesitate to ask, but what manner of being are you? Do you truly serve his will? Yes, he works through you, and built the path to guide you to me. I have reached out so many times, to hear nothing but echoes. Yet you, an outsider, hear me plain. And for the first time, I hear you. Clearly your arrival here is fated. By stepping into this void, we are now linked. There is still reason to hope. The Great Serpent will see us through. But time is short. The bridge collapses. The gate is still open. The experiment still runs. Find me in the Scaled Citadel. I will wait for you there.
The Great Serpent sends you to me once again. You return. What news do you have of Anasco? Then my vision did not betray me.
Well, it would seem I owe you an apology, sister.
There is no need, brother. Your skepticism only strengthens us.
As you say. But, to the matter at hand, did Anasco mention anything that could aid us in his extraction? Yes, the pinnacle of the Citadel was modified to house the equipment to create a gate to the Vortex. If it still runs, that would explain everything we have experienced since the initial incident.
It is much more than that. Normally when I pray for Anasco's return, I sense he is lost, fading. But when I last prayed to the Great Serpent, I felt Anasco's presence clear and distinct. Even as it receded, I felt him anchored to this world. Yes, there are some who suggest that when Jinan communed with the Great Serpent, a similar bond had been established. I believe the same is true for you and Anasco.
I would need time to attempt a scientific explanation for why or how this happened, but for now, let us assume my sister is correct.
Regardless if we have an explanation now, my scientific curiosity is piqued nonetheless.
This husks comments aside, that is the essence of faith. Not all things require explanation. I do not know what lies ahead. My visions do not go beyond this point. But I do know this link would play a role. In fact, I am certain of it.
Agreed. And with this settled, we can now continue the work of aligning the noble houses. Together, we will find a way to complete the mourning device.
Vindicator. The High Council supports the Speaker on matters practical and political. Heralds like myself provide spiritual and philosophical guidance. Together with the Speaker, we work to divine the intent of the Great Serpent and to spread his message to the people of House Va'ruun. And, as time permits, I make myself available to the people of Dasra for the same guidance. I exist to serve, as do we all. It would be a true shame if, in the face of adversity and tragedy, the people turn away from the Great Serpent. In times of crisis, that is where the Great Serpent shows himself most. He guides us to seek community, empowers us to rebuild better and stronger, encourages us to find a newfound faith in him. I pray the people of Dasra see that it is not a time for fear or doubt. It is acceptable to grieve what we have lost, but we must not let that grief poison our minds. It is my hope that people will turn towards and not away from the Great Serpent. Through him, we can rebuild a better Dasra, forged in a blazing fire of faith and community. Go on and continue to fulfill your holy purpose.
One house aligned, and...
It's you and me. Goodbye. My contact is in Vanguard recruiting, so expect a sales pitch when you meet. And it's fine. Until later.
The serpent strikes down those who doubt.
We need to talk to John. Bye.
You do not have approval to trade with me.
Victor. The High Council needs access to the power grid if we hope to restore the city. Your inability to provide a legitimate excuse for denying them will only last so long.
Victoria is right. I know you're angry, but you can't let personal matters interfere with what may be best for everyone.
Personal matters? This is a Ministry of State matter, and I will handle it as I see fit. He is a traitor. He turned his back not only on his family, but on our people's entire belief system. The fact that he still breathes is a stain upon the House Vethal name.
You would doom us all with your pride.
I will do as I please as head of this house. If you are not a member of House Vethal, you do not belong here. Truly, you are a heretic with no regard for respect.
Forgive my brother. He has been forgetting his manners of late. Victor, this is Anaskel's chosen. You recall Lovik sent word.
I recall he spoke of a newly anointed promised. And we do not need help, especially from an outsider.
You can't continue to refuse the council. You must act. Your inaction is killing you.
Precisely, which is why he leaves me no choice but to say this. My nephew Varric has left, and until he returns, Victor refuses to assist the council.
These are hardly matters for the ears of an outsider. You oversimplify. You would think us incapable of such a simple task. You are an outsider. You have no understanding of our house. What would my son, my successor, the heir to House Vethal have to do with house politics? Even someone with basic political knowledge should realize his importance. Yes, quite the conundrum indeed.
Is this not the opportunity you've been looking for, brother? A third party capable of finding Varric?
Yes, you said so yourself. Someone with no loyalties to speak of. And if he's become promised, truly his arrival is more than coincidence.
Serpent, give me strength. You both speak true. Perhaps I have reacted in haste. Tell me, Vindicator, are you well practiced in discretion? I hope your word is good as well. As Vittoria mentioned, my son, Varric, has left. Essentially, he has abandoned his post. And not only did he turn his back on his house, but the great serpent as well. He is a traitor and must be dealt with as such.
Victor, surely you don't mean it.
He does, Luther. He is allowing his fervent pride and anger to cloud his judgment. What my brother is trying to say is that he wishes his own son dead. First, we lose Vashti to that malignance tearing through Dazra. And now you so willingly offer up Varric. As if our house has not suffered enough loss already.
I will not speak of her with an outsider, promised or not. Your focus is solely on Vedic. My son denounced the very faith that defines Varun's society. He dared to blame a Nazgul for the state of Dazra. Dared to call our faith in the Great Serpent blind. It is heresy and punishable by death. Because he let his weakness get the better of him. He sees himself as a prisoner in this life. He runs from a duty that others would spend their lives coveting. He is my son. He does not get to choose. He was born to inherit my title, and he knows the punishment for refusing to honor it. Of course it would. As someone from the settled systems, you have no concept of what the Great Serpent demands of us. I do not wish Vedic dead, but as head of the Ministry of State, he left me no choice. All must serve. Those who refuse will be met with death. Our duty as wardens is to keep the populace tasked and loyal. All must serve, both the Great Serpent and House Varun. No exceptions. Those who refuse must be cleansed to stop the spread of corruption. The shame Vedic brought upon this house is immeasurable. It stains the very foundation. I will not act until this house is in order and its members are properly aligned with the Great Serpent. Exceptions show weakness, and we cannot afford to show weakness at a time like this.
We have done the same for less. You act as if death is the only answer. What about forgiveness?
I will not risk the Ministry's authority on the actions of my own son, even if he is my chosen heir. If the High Council wants my cooperation, I need you to find Vedic and carry out his sentence.
And I would ask you to spare him. My brother is acting under impulse, not reason.
I have never been more clear. Speak against me one more time, and you will regret it. Vedic has a signet ring with House Vithal's family crest. Bring it to me as proof of death. Only then will I grant you access to the power grid. There is no other way. The Ministry of State must uphold order, and you will be expected to serve as we all do. I recommend you start by speaking to patrons of the Herald's Rest. Some of Vedic's associates there may know where he went, but keep in mind, anyone who has directly aided him in hiding is an accomplice and shares his fate. The Herald's Rest is our local bar, and unfortunately, my son's favorite establishment to frequent. And while I know a bar isn't the ideal place for discretion, I still expect you to keep these matters private. All anyone needs to know is that you are looking for Vedic. See to it you do. All anyone needs to know is that you are looking for Vedic for personal reasons. I will not risk word of his disappearance getting out before I can say the situation has been handled.
Remember, Vindicator, that I would ask you to spare my nephew. As a high-ranking member of the Ministry of State, I fully support the policies. But I also recognize these circumstances are not normal. Exceptions must be made in trying times. Varric was an obedient child, quiet, always absorbed in his studies to please his father. But the two have clashed ever since Varric sacrificed his growth. He found his voice that day, and to Victor's dismay, he wanted no part of being elder. All Varun children raise a growth, and when they come of age, they sacrifice it. It is our way of solidifying our connection with the Great Serpent. All must serve, and our dedication to him comes above all else. Victor was too lenient with him when it came to Varric's free time. As strict as he was, he allowed him the freedom to associate with whomever he wanted. I think too much time at the Herald Rest showed Varric a different life is possible, when it's not. Not for him. Victor's pride and belief in tradition will not allow it. He sees Varric's refusal to inherit the role of Elder as an insult, and many would share that view. Varric is conflict-averse. Pressure, responsibility, stress, he avoids them like the plague. He wants everyone's approval, and as Elder, that is an impossible task. I believe it is why he has fled. He made his final stand against his father, and rather than face the disapproval, he disappears. What would you like to know? Victor is letting his emotions get the better of him. He was barely processing the shock and grief from losing Vashti. Then came the anger and betrayal from Varric. My brother is a man of pride and great faith. For the first time, I think he does not know what to do. But I am certain Victor does not wish Varric dead. Is it not obvious? He has given you the perfect out, the ring. Yes, Varric would be loath to part with it. It belonged to his sister and is all he has left. But to save his life? To save her brother? Vashti would give him her blessing to hand it over if you asked. This is why I ask you to spare him. As head of the Ministry of State, Victor feels he has no choice. He believes he is trapped by his own faith and duty. If he makes an exception for his son, and the truth comes out, people will see it as weakness. They will question the Ministry of State's authority, which means they are questioning him. Something his pride would never risk. On the other hand, going through with it, announcing it to the public, that solidifies the Ministry of State as a force to be both feared and revered. And I pray I have answers for you. Vashti was my niece. Victor's daughter. Varric's sister. We lost her to the devastation that took half of our great city. Victor will barely speak of her. I think he cannot reconcile the loss with his faith. Vindicator?
You have a job to do, Vindicator. Get it done.
If the Great Serpent truly watches over us, you'll bring Varric home. I, too, would ask you spare Varric. Victor is in no condition to be making such decisions. Whatever happened to Dazra, our home was taken along with it. Victor felt the keep was the most logical place to stay until more long-term plans were able to be made. The Ministry of State oversees military and security, so we already have established offices here. Vashti was Victor's daughter. We lost her in the accident. She and Varric were very close. She was his anchor and voice of reason. I truly believe if she was still with us, Varric would be too. Varric is a dreamer who let his fascination with the settled systems get the best of him. You could always tell his heart wasn't into learning about Varun society, noble houses, ministries, Dazra. He was a devout student, but none of it interested him. The only lessons that truly fascinated him were about space and exploration. Our house was taken during the incident. Our losses are great. Vashti being foremost in our minds. Excuse me. I'd rather not speak about it. You don't know Victor Vathal. He may be the most stubborn man in Dazra next to Anasko Varun himself, but that doesn't mean we won't try. He adores Varric, and if he died without reconciling their differences, I think it would break him. He never got to say goodbye to Vashti, and he hasn't taken it well. Serpent guide you.
See to your duty.
Be mindful of our elder. The incident weighs heavily on him.
Best to keep busy lest you lose your purpose, as well as your home.
This bar is some cosa to lift your spirit. All right, take a look. This bar is the Varric. Depends on who's looking for him. And Fi, of course. Personal, huh? I can respect that. Truth is, I haven't seen him for a few days myself. But if you find him, tell him he better come check on his tab. I know he's good for it, but since he gave Eggy permission to use it, it's sky high. Eggy or B are the ones you want to question. But I doubt they know any more than I do. Can I get you anything? All right. Some cosa to live. Just because he's a regular doesn't mean he tells all. It always helps when you have a personal connection. And I wish I could help you. Well, if it's important... As much as I hate to block good news, I really can't help you. I'm sorry. Some cosa to lift. Just because he's a regular. It always helps when you have a personal connection. He's smarter than that. Varric was always good at... Varric always was one to act on impulse. Well, now I feel really guilty. All right, fine. I don't know where he is, but there's a man, Dane Salavea. He might know. That one's easy. Dane's a bit of a regular ever since Dasra went to hell. Just wait around a bit, and he's bound to wander in.
You seem to be... another drink woman. We lost a lot of good people to the Vortex.
I don't need any free drinks from you. I don't need any free drinks from you. Not looking for company right now.
Our sins must have been considerable for the Great Serpent to subject us to this.
Hope things start looking up soon around here. Hey, aren't you that outsider made promise that showed up here recently? Oh, wow. You really bought in, huh? I'm an outsider myself. It's hard to get into the whole giant snake thing. I guess when you're part of the supply chain, they make a few exceptions. There's not a lot of people in the import-export business when it comes to Dasra, and they aim to keep it that way. But believe me, it wasn't any short amount of time before they let me roam these streets. You could say I'm like a specialized delivery service, moving stuff back and forth between Dasra and the settled systems. Just so happens I got a lot of time on my hands since Dasra went to hell and I lost my ship. And let me tell you, I thought things were grim before. Whatever that incident was, this whole planet's gonna need therapy. Yeah, it's something, isn't it? I've been toting stuff back and forth for these people for years and still get the cold shoulder most places I go. But then these people lose half their city and you show up, and suddenly it's divine intervention. Well, glad Dasra didn't disappoint. Something tells me you aren't kidding. Anyway, enough about that. What can I do you for? I know the name, sure, everybody here does. But the man? Not much. Someone like me doesn't exactly hang out with house bigwigs. Varric Vathal, huh? That's no small name around here. Well, I guess that depends. Vindicator? Who wants to know? Oh, sure. You just show up out of the blue and suddenly want to know where to find House Vathal's #1 son? And I know he wasn't lost to whatever ate up half of Dazra. Plenty of people have seen him since. Although, let's just say after what went down here, my retirement's looking imminent, and I haven't exactly been saving up for a rainy day. So if you're feeling generous, maybe we can help each other out. Sounds like you're out of luck then. This is sounding more like a house matter to me. And who am I to stand in the way? I'm pretty sure he's heading into the Highlands. Just not sure where. But I do have the means to track him. So you just say the word and we're off to the races. Highlands region is the northwest side of Dazra. Pretty good area if you don't want to be easily found. Yep, when it comes to my stuff, it's like a package deal. I'm not just gonna hand off valuable tech to some stranger. You make it sound creepy. But yeah, for emergencies. Oh no, I'm stuck on you until this is over. Let's just say I have an investment to look after. Once we're outside of Dazra, I'll fire up my tracker, and fingers crossed, it'll lead us right to him. Just head out the west gate, should be the fastest route.
I would do anything to sleep in my own bed again.
One for me, and one for you, Jenna.
It's
No,
you and
Eddie.
me from here.
You have
Okay.
already had several.
Ah, what can I say? Nobody makes a drink like you do. Come now. Just one more drink? I do not wish to say goodbye just yet. I have fallen under your spell.
Same thing every day.
You seem to be doing well. I'll drink to that.
My contact is in Vanguard recruiting, so... All right, but...
Can rest safely here.
I'll never see my children again.
Have you come to scoff at the fool? Then you have not heard of Yah? I'm not surprised. All my life, such thing when they... Some of us, the condemnation, we were shunned. We left it. Thank you. Unfortunately, if more of these... If you need a place, unlike those in... Or was there some... Farewell.
I have work to do. I'm busy. Go on now, get out of here.
It's been a minute since I... I bet whatever's in there is worth something to someone. Keep your eye out for anything that might point... friend's a strong word. More like friendly acquaintances. Guess we both felt the Herald's Rest was one of the few places that made us feel like real people. Couple of drinks and everyone's your friend in that moment. I've only had a few run-ins with Victor for security purposes, and he's all in. The man embodies House Bethal. He could probably recite Janan's teachings word for word, and he runs the Ministry of State without missing a beat. Strict, demanding, and always watching. The guy's good at his job, but when it comes to personality, I couldn't tell you. Whoever he is, he keeps it close to the chest. Not from the man himself. The only time I get glimpses of who Victor might be is through Varric. It's clear he cares about his son, putting in all that work to prepare Varric for the vultures and wolves when he becomes elder. And get this, he even tells Varric he's proud of him. When you're in the kind of position that he is, I think you have to be. You can't be in charge of security and purging heretics and then turn around and cry over spilled milk. This is Dazra, where noble houses like to duke it out for bragging rights. They see weakness, they take advantage. Ugh. The state's my least favorite of the three. Commerce and conjunction keep to themselves, but state reaches everywhere. Their security, but more importantly, their loyalty. So they'll get deep in your business. They want your motives, your next of kin, your firstborn. I joke. But the moment they get a whiff of something anti-snake, that's heresy. And heresy is a one-way ticket to meet the Great Serpent himself. House of Athal? Yeah, when it comes to House Varun and the Great Serpent, you won't find a more dedicated house. Some are borderline fanatics, if you ask me. One step away from zealots. Victor isn't even the worst of them. Sure thing. He's a good enough guy, I suppose. A little self-absorbed, spoiled. Growing up in a noble house probably does that to you. A little naive, too. He's got this friend, Bianca. She's crazy about him. But the guy's oblivious. And his friend Eggy? Guy needs to lay off the Koza. But I heard Varric let him in on his tab. That's gonna work out well. Blames his dad for everything, though. And I get it. Victor Vathal is not an easy man. He's just used to getting his way and the world revolving around him. When you're raised to be elder, that's bound to bring you all sorts of extra attention. So sometimes when hanging around with us peons, he forgets we have our own thoughts and opinions. Well, it's Victor we're talking about, so it wouldn't surprise me. But Varric can't see how much effort Victor puts into making sure his son has all the tools he needs to take over. He'll go on these rants of Victor drilling him on scenarios. Stuff makes my brain hurt. But Varric talks about it like child's play. Hey, whatever you want. Always up for a chat. Hey, whatever you... Always up for a chat. Varric's been busy if he got... still in one piece. 2 arms, 2 legs. Still good to go. All my years and all the planets I've been on. Never gonna get used to those things. Sure looks like it. Damn house we're on. Wiping out half their city and bringing in horrors like these. At least I don't see a body around here, so I hope that means Varric's alive. You find anything? Yeah, I figured as much. At least his body wasn't attached to it. So what next? Sounds like a plan. And hopefully that injury slows him down enough for us to catch up. Let's head back down and see what we can find. And by we, I mean you. If he's injured, friends, I guess we both a couple of drinks.
That's far enough, strangers. You want to tell me what you're doing on my property uninvited? Through here. You realize you're in the middle of nowhere. I can understand that, but I can't help you. The only people here are my partner Zen and our daughter Mila. No one comes around here. We're isolated, and that's the way we like it. Be my guest.
Let's just find out what we need and leave these people be.
We have nothing to hide.
Take care as we look around.
Just get it over with.
Open sesame.
You are not walking. You are not walking away with it.
mineral content of this soil is ideal for producing vegetables.
That's far enough, strangers. You want to tell me what you're doing on my property uninvited? Through here. Of course, fellow promised. Please forgive...
Yeah, you here obligated? You know it must be house business.
Indeed, brother. All must serve.
Irina, are you sure you know what you're doing?
Zen, yes, I know quite well. Never mind my partner, they're just overly cautious. But... we did aid an injured young man a few days ago.
That's gotta be Varric.
It's too coincidental. It must have been him. We didn't know and didn't ask. We introduced ourselves, and he quickly changed the subject. But he was polite, and something about him reminded me of our own son, so I didn't feel the need to push him. Casimir Mazur. He left a while back to find work in Dasra. He didn't want the life of a farmer. We haven't heard from him since the incident. He had a pretty bad injury, but we were able to patch him up. He didn't want to stick around, though. Once he felt better, we sent him north. There's a long-abandoned growth farm we felt he could make use of. He claimed he lost everything in the incident that swallowed half of Dasra. He wanted to start a new life. We even gave him 2 of our own growths to get started. Great Serpent, forgive my foolishness, but I trusted him instantly. I saw so much of our own son, Cass, in him, that I didn't doubt nor question. I allowed him his privacy in what I thought was a time of great need and grief. It was only when you made it known that this was house business that I realized my mistake. You're welcome, and safe travels. If you find him, give him our regards.
unit is performing a software update. Please do not attempt further conversation.
I bet this is it. You go on ahead. I'll keep going.
Because I do not experience boredom, I excel in the performance of menial tasks.
Eric's been busy if he got this much done. Nothing going on out here. How about you? Find anything? Never thought of Varric as the Dear Diary type. Sounds like it's a waiting game then.
It seems I have uninvited guests. You want to explain yourselves?
Whoa, hey, it's me. Dang. Put the gun down already.
It's not you I'm concerned about. It's your friend. I wish I could say I was pleased to meet you, but something tells me this isn't a social call. Please, if you're here on my father's orders, allow me to plead my case. I'm glad someone does for once. I am not sure how familiar you are with our culture, but all I've ever wanted was the right to choose. I was born House Vithal. I was raised to inherit the role of Elder, to run the Ministry of State, to worship the Great Serpent. But I want none of it.
With House Vithal? Easier said than done.
It's never mattered how much I tried to reason with him. My father simply would not let me go. His pride and the fear of what it would mean for House Vithal is all he cares about. Shame, embarrassment, fuel for the other houses to ridicule my father. I don't want any of that for him, but he left me no choice. If he would have listened just once, maybe I could have left on good terms with my father's blessing. Control the narrative, as they like to say. That's the issue. As far as my father's concerned, he's the most supportive parent out there. Giving me all the tools and teachings I need to inherit House Vithal and assume the reins of the Ministry of State. I'm the ungrateful one. I'm the problem. Not him. All I want is to make my own life. Something Tane understood and was willing to help me with.
The credits help too. But yeah, guess you got the whole scoop now. I was hoping you'd see it that way. I lost my ship to the incident, so I didn't want Varric running off thinking I could just grab him and go. I was also out all the credits he was gonna pay me. That's where you came in. I figured, why not two for the price of one? I didn't realize it was gonna turn into a whole thing.
So, now you know my true intentions for leaving, and given the circumstances, I may be here for some time. My hope now is to make the best of it here. It seems opportunistic. I know. The truth is, the Scaled Citadel was the last straw. My people are so blinded by faith and politics, they don't see how it's destroying us. Anasko Varun eliminated half our population in the blink of an eye. My sister Vashti among them. I could no longer live in a society that won't put its people first. That would destroy itself in the name of a god that has done nothing for us. I understand that some people need faith as guidance. But Varun society takes it too far. I hope you can see why I want to walk away from all this. To start my own life. I ask that you give me that chance. Anything. Name it. My ring. Vashti gave it to me. It's all I have left of her since the cataclysm. The disaster took every physical reminder of her except for this ring. Just wiped her from existence. True. It's as if she's looking out for me. One last time. Take it. I'll find solace in the fact that the ring will remain with my family. And now I hope we are done here. Thank you for seeing reason. I owe you both my life and freedom.
Now that's over with. I'm gonna hang back here, talk to Varric a bit. Besides, I don't want to be around when you break the news to Victor. Do me a favor and find me at the Herald's Rest when you're done. Remember to find me at the Herald's Rest once you finish your business.
I have literally no experience. Being a growth farmer, but I'm going to try my best.
Vindicator? Vindicator? Vindicator?
need to talk to John Tuala in Mast. Sure, I'm right behind you.
Idle hands and minds are where
Let us speak. You're back. What news do you bring? Until next time. You're back.
What have you done? Varric.
This blood is on your hands, Victor. I hope you remember this. And I clearly said exceptions should be made.
No, it was Varric's choice. He knew the consequences.
You were his father. You were supposed to protect him. You think you are doing what is right out of some blind dedication, but you are destroying this house. You already lost one child. You had to murder the other.
Victoria!
I will not hear any more of this. It is done. Leave us.
Oh, I am leaving to mourn my nephew whose memory you disgrace with your very presence.
Victoria!
Leave her be, Luther. The Great Serpent will guide her. She will understand in time and emerge stronger for it. Then I can appreciate a tool that does not question. Ultimately, I care nothing for what you think. Now, only one matter remains to discuss. Did you find anyone who aided my son in his treachery? Good. Unfortunately, I have heard ramblings among the people of Varric's disappearance. Wardens are dealing with the matter as we speak. But you restored order to this house, and have my gratitude. Here, the access code that Ekris needs to connect to the power grid. Now go. I have much to arrange.
First Vashti. Now Varric. I can't imagine this is what Victor truly wanted.
Something is amiss, but I dare not speak.
If only you had allowed Varric to live. I mostly looked after the House members, trying to take a more active role in the lives of our people. Victor's attention is more administrative focused, so he has little time to deal with personal grievances or requests. Since the destruction, I did all I could to help ease our family's grief. But once Varric left, I turned my focus completely to Victor. I remember the light and a horrible sound. But most of all, I remember Victor's face when he rushed outside to find us. He kept saying it was gone. Disappeared. I'll never forget the moment he took us into the halls of obedience to see the devastation that surrounded the scaled citadel. The heartbreak and horror we felt knowing whatever took Dazra, took our house and family with it. Great Serpent keep you.
Our minds and bodies must be fully devoted to his will.
Sorry, but you will have to get approval before you can buy any weapons from me.
Serpent's favor upon you.
Let's push it in gear.
Brother lost his wife and home in the catastrophe. How can anyone be safe?
Now that our calculations have been fine-tuned,
This has to work. I have faith.
of success. Did Victor finally relinquish the access code? Slowly, but it will be much faster if you have the power grid access code. Testing without full power is extremely limiting. Excellent. We'll finally have the resources to fully charge the morning device. Now, let's hope House Steward Kef is as forthcoming as the others.
It's you and me from here out.
Now that we have access to...
What? Not looking for company right now.
Excuse me, I've work to do.
Glad we got that whole barrack business sorted. Whole thing was starting to be a real pain in the ass. Well, I was the guy who was gonna smuggle him out of Arun Kai. But that was before he ran off and Victor put him on the shit list. And if someone fingered me as his ride out of here, well, this lumpy old head would be on a pike somewhere, being meat for the crows. Anyway, seeing as I don't have a ship, I'm kind of out of a job. So I was thinking, if you're looking for an extra hand, I got two. They both work well enough, I mean, for my age anyway. But fair warning, I can't do all that moving around and trying new things, stuff that the kids do. Because fact is, I'm retired. Not from work, but life. Nope. It just means when there's a bench, I park my butt on it. If there's meat on the menu, I'm ordering it. Simple as that. Well, I got arthritis, and they shake from time to time. A lot of pain from years of lifting stuff, moving crates, that sort of thing. Buddy of mine said I got 2 left feet. What he forgot to mention is that they're attached to my wrists. Well, I'm just telling you how it is. I'm a smuggler, not a fighter. Doesn't mean I'm not useful. Oh, and one other thing. I've got a reputation. You ask anyone about Tain Salaver, and they'll tell you he's old and lazy and useless with a gun. And I'm here to tell you that's only half true. I am old and lazy, but I'm okay with the gun. Is that sarcasm? I can't tell. I mean, yeah, I don't move much, but I can if I have to. Depends on what's chasing me. Well, even before I lost my ship, I've been looking to branch out. Being a smuggler is fine, but there's not a whole lot of job security. Maybe this is a bad read on my part, but being on your crew seems like a steadier paycheck. Well, the pay scales up with the risk, and at some point it's just too much of one to make the other worthwhile. Besides money, there's 2 things I look for in a job: excitement and complexity. I want neither. Give me boring and stupid and make it pay well? That's the dream. Good. I like your hiring style. No interview or background check. That's all bullshit anyway, in case you didn't know. Better you just point me to my station so we can get on with it. Guess I'll be heading out. See you later, Captain. Jinan Plaza usually gets a lot of traffic. Good place to disappear into a crowd. Already, huh? Not gonna throw around a ball and do some male bonding first? All right, fire away. That's a long story. You sure you want to hear it? Or are you cool with the short version? Oh God, seriously? Oh, fine. I'll start from the beginning. So I got a reputation in the smuggling business. No muss, no fuss. But my main rule is, I don't rat out my suppliers. And I got 20 months in a Martian prison eating salted rocks to prove it. Smuggling organs. And I know what you're thinking, but I'm just the delivery guy. Not my business who they belong to. Sure they did. Freedom, a swanky apartment, and all the steak I could eat. But there's an old saying, you feed birds bread, they forget how to fetch the berry. I don't know about you, but I'm not gonna live a beggar's life to be king for a day. Damn straight. So I'm expecting to do hard labor. Strings on my back like a damn puppet for the UC. But after 6 months, I get out for good behavior. Well, I tell them they got the wrong guy. My behavior flat out stinks. Still, the guard insists. Says someone in a fancy suit vouched for me, and he's waiting at the broken spear. Now, I've never worn a suit in my life, and I don't deal with anyone who does. And I'm willing to bet this guy's favor comes with his own set of strings. Best I can tell, a middleman. Maybe he worked for the Snakes, but more likely he was just a contact, twice removed. You know what? I agree. Because my life got way more interesting after. Anyway, guy offers me a job, but he's real light on the details. He can't tell me what cargo he wants to move. He can't tell me who it's for. Won't even tell me his damn name. Just wrote some numbers on a napkin and left the bar. But the napkin told me all I needed to know. The coordinates and the payment. In advance. Yeah, I would have preferred that, but I get why they didn't. There's no guarantee I wouldn't just sell those numbers to the highest bidder. Not a lot, but enough. As for the job, it went down like this. I jumped to the location, and there's another guy waiting for me. My job is to pass off the cargo to him. Thing is, he's a real chatty bastard. Tells me the same story I just told you, how he was given coordinates to land and coordinates to jump to. He tells me he thinks there's a whole crew of us working like a relay team, but I keep my mouth shut because it's none of my business. Funny thing is, next time I do the job, the chatty guy's gone, and I'm doing his route instead of mine. Yeah, but it also raises the stakes. You rat someone out, you weren't going to lockup. You're dead. Anyway, every time I do the job, the jumps get more and more remote, and the relay team gets smaller and smaller. And the more remote the job, the more slick the operation. Faces I haven't seen, shorter drop-offs, no convos. It's all business. Then one day, I'm asked to meet with someone who clearly isn't local. Nah, nothing like that. Just a man from a place off the map. At that point, I realized the whole thing was a test, and now it's time to jump to the homeland for real. I also knew that if I screwed this up, I'd be a dead man, so pressure was on. I could hear my old man chirping in my head, reminding me to keep from shaking. So I kept still, said nothing, and completed the job. More importantly, I earned their trust. The rest is like that old tale about Jinan and the snake. History. Doctor prescribed it for me. Said it'd be good for my blood pressure. So I've heard. Chems always make me dizzy, though. But if you want the real story, I became a smuggler for the same reason any hustler, deadbeat, or soldier of fortune does anything. Money. I did it for the money. We had enough. You know how smuggling isn't all the way bad, just a little bad. Well, maybe if we were poor, I would have been a pirate or spacer. But I only had to break the law a little to get by. True. But you can only make the most money one way. The way that works best for you. I like to think so. I guess I'll start from the beginning. My dad was a military guy, and we moved around a lot. That meant spending a lot of time at spaceports. That's where I got my education. I'd watch how crates were moved, logged, and stashed. I'd see how palms were greased and how to ask for what you want without saying what you mean. Had to be. The military was his life. The old man didn't have much else. He could fit all his interests into a teaspoon if he had to. That's what I tell people all the time. They should call me doctor for all the years I put in. Long story short, I eventually saved enough to buy a small freighter and got in contact with the guy at the Trade Authority. And here's the kicker. My first job? Smuggling a big old pile of Varun heretic writings. At the time, I thought they were just pamphlets. But hey, maybe they were a sign. It's all run by House Dulkef, from managing the supply chain to enlisting spies and doing intelligence. They call themselves the Ministry of Commerce. I thought it was just a fancy name for a smuggling racket, but being on the inside, I could tell you it's a well-oiled machine. Everything runs on time. Every book is exact to the decimal. And everybody involved knows to keep their mouth shut. Gotta be. Although I haven't met any myself. And I know better than to ask. That's how House Dulkef does things, from top to bottom. The boss man Hasmac runs a tight ship. You mean all that serpent stuff? I don't know. Isn't any crazier than the Sanctum Universum. I've lived a long time and seen a lot of weird shit. Great serpent, lesser hamster, holy pineapple. It's all the same to me. Pray to whoever or whatever you want. If your creds are good, then so are we. Got a job to deliver some soap once. And of course, I don't get it. Why do you need a smuggler for that? Well, you know how oils and fats are what you use to make soap? Turns out, if you use a certain kind of oil, you can make soap that'll get you high. I can tell you, but just so you know, talking about this stuff's not really my thing. If you want to know that, the last thing you should be doing is asking about my relatives. Look, my family and I aren't close. I'd like to give you a sob story like we're all alcoholics or something. But the truth is a lot stranger. We just don't talk. It's not like we hate each other or anything. If I see my brother, I'll be the first to give him a hug. It's just been 10 years since the last one. Nope. Weird, I know. But that's just not something we ever did. That's why me getting stuck on Varun Kai wouldn't seem out of the ordinary to anyone. If I get lost, the only people who are gonna file a missing persons report are the goons at the Trade Authority. I don't know, the thought never crosses my mind. It's not like I'm dying or anything. Of course, when I do die, it'll probably be another 20 years before someone tells them. You think so? If they're anything like me, I doubt it. It's not that I don't care. I just don't care enough. I'm too busy trying to work the space lanes to worry about which cousin has a birthday this week. But fine. If it'll make you happy, maybe I'll send a slate and see what they're all up to. None come to mind at the moment. Right on.
The mourning device. The closer it gets to completion, the more ominously it looms.